couple things to consider when purchasing a pair of snowshoes. One is size. The size should be commensurate to your weight and the type of snow you're going to use it in. A lot of snowshoe companies have weight ranges on their snowshoes. That's not really entirely applicable. We're in a maritime snow pattern here. The snow is heavier versus a Rocky Mountain snowpack where the snow is much lighter. So typically what we would consider a medium-sized snowshoe is plenty for even the biggest guy. Also considering how much pack you're going to have. A lot of climbers with a heavy pack will use a slightly larger snowshoe. Next to size is going to be the bottom of the snowshoe and how much of a crampon it has. For example, this is more of a heavy-duty snowshoe. You can see it has a crampon that comes all the way around the perimeter of the snowshoe, as well as an anti-sledding crampon here, as well as under the foot. Very good for a variety of terrain: steep terrain, icy snow, side hills. More of an all-around snowshoe would be this slightly smaller one, but also you can see it has a little bit less of a crampon, not as rigorous a terrain. And finally, this is a jogging snowshoe, which has almost no crampon, but it's fine for gentle rolling terrain, which you're likely to, quote, snowshoe jog on. Third thing is binding. Again, this lightweight snowshoe has a very light binding, designed even for a tennis shoe or a very light hiking boot. This all-around snowshoe has a little bit sturdier binding, which is going to let the foot flex less in the snowshoe. So if you're on a slight side hill, your foot's not going to wash out in the binding. And finally, this heavy-duty mountaineering snowshoe has a much more aggressive binding, as well as a climber. So if you're ascending something, you're not hyperextending each stride. And it's anticipating a more of a mountaineering boot or a heavy snowshoe boot. So those three things, size, the crampon, and the binding, will really determine how the snowshoe will affect your outing. The right snowshoe for your outing will be dependent upon where you're going to go. Some people like to jog or do a fast walk on snowshoes. Typically they're going to be on a trail, say up Evermorial Highway, or perhaps up to horse camp. A lighter weight snowshoe, again this is kind of jogging snowshoe, works well, or we'll call an all-around snowshoe, something like this. We have a light day pack or no pack at all, and maybe we're going to cover maybe 2 to 6-8 miles at a fairly brisk pace. If you say you want to go to horse camp and maybe up towards Lake Kent, a little more terrain, you'd go from this all-around snowshoe perhaps up to a little bit heavier duty snowshoe. This would be for the person that's going to climb and go fairly steep on Mount Shasta, maybe a north side route as you approach. This will take you to where you have to don crampons for the upper part of the mountain. Castle Lake, across the valley, great snowshoe in that area. Good all-round snowshoe would be great if you're going to go around the edge of the lake where it's a little bit steeper. A lightweight snowshoe if you're just going to maybe do a little jog around the lake. Probably 90% of our market in our area, they use this all-around snowshoe. The rest, if they're going to the mountain, we'll use a heavy-duty snowshoe. Lighter weight, trying to blow up a lung, they'll go with the jogging snowshoe.